very warm welcome to this 1.1 meditation session. My name is Els, and I'm very happy to be with you here today. For those of you who are new, these sessions have been running on Fridays every fortnight now for the last couple of years. The sessions are organized by One Point Consulting, which is an IT consultancy company based in London. Several of us working for One Point Consulting have been meditating, and the meditation we practice is called Raja Yoga. It's the yoga of the mind. We all live in a fast-changing world, and we have to face many challenges coming our way, not only in the workplace, but also in our personal lives. The idea came to share some of these meditation practices with a wider audience, with the hope that others can also benefit from meditation. The Oneness project was launched in May 2020, and that was in the middle of the COVID and pandemic, which was a difficult time for many people. So far, we have had more than 150 international guest speakers who have contributed to this project. These are experienced meditators from different cultural and professional backgrounds. All the sessions have been recorded and they are available on YouTube. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome Linda Lee, who joins us from Brighton in the UK. Hello, Linda. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Linda has been working in the banking industry and in the medical field for many years, but she's retired now. She has been practicing Raja Yoga meditation for over 40 years now, and she's finding it extremely helpful at this particular time that we're passing through. And she shares from her heart the wisdom and the experience of meditation and the benefit that she has gained through that over the years. The topic for today is how to cultivate inner strength and resilience in difficult times. So, warm welcome, Linda.
Thank you so much, Els. That's a lovely introduction. So what a topic. I mean, how to cultivate inner strength and resilience in turbulent times. I think we are in turbulent times now. So I think the cultivation of inner strength and resilience over a period of time is very much helping with the times we're living in now. And from all the kind of insights people are having about the future, that it's going to actually become more turbulent. So I feel this is a very practical topic to take up, because it's all about resilience. I mean, life today is all about resilience, and I don't think it's restricted to what you do for a living or where you are in the world. I feel that we are all going through a very bumpy period in time, which is calling for a new set of ways of being, and to be able to cope with everything from, whether you are working in a shop, or you're a lawyer, or you're a politician, or you're a nurse, or you're a mum. I feel that everyone is actually going through these turbulent times. So resilience is absolutely essential, I feel personally, and I feel very grateful to have spent, my life really working with resilience, and because it's an inner strength that we have to really cultivate. We do need to build it up. It's not something that just comes when you summon it, with a thought. So it's actually muscle. It's spiritual muscle that needs to be worked with and worked on. And like our physical muscles, if you are bedridden for a period of time, because of you broke your leg or something, then it's really, you really have to push yourself to get all those muscles back on track. I remember doing this myself, and I was quite shocked actually how quickly our muscles deteriorate if we don't use them. So I feel that's it's kind of a good example of the spiritual muscle that we need to really work on to build up that inner strength, so that we can see these difficult times, these turbulent times. So yeah, it's yeah.
It's interesting how you describe resilience, because that's a question I had for you. What exactly is it? What do you understand? And you have clearly explained that it's like building that inner strength. Like if you don't use your muscles, they will deteriorate. So you lose that strength, you lose that power. The same with resilience. But what is the way? Because some people say that, okay, I would like to learn how to meditate, I would like to learn mindfulness, but I just can't focus, I can't concentrate. There's too much going on in my life, I don't have time. How can we cultivate that resilience? What kind of practice do you think is necessary to build that inner strength? And I would say on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think it's, well, I think that's also quite an illusion to think that we don't have time. We do have time, and even if we took 1 minute every hour just to step inside, to be able to connect with this place that's deep inside our head, which is behind the eyes and in the center of the brain, if we connected where our inner strength is coming from, if we did that just for 60 seconds every hour, it would be really quite enough to get those inner muscles going. It's like you take a breath in and you hold it and then you breathe out again. It's this is what we're doing. We're applying some thought to that space inside where the soul is, and enabling that to be activated. Because we spend so much time on the outside, when we're at work, we're looking at screens. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at a screen so much more now than I did when I was at work. And if I don't take some 1 minute to just go inside, it's like I really feel the effect of being always on the outside, my energy always being on the outside. So it's like when we face problems, something happens and people say, or something happens and you say, take a deep breath, and people take a deep breath and then breathe out again. There's something to do with as you breathe in, you start to connect with wherever the tension is, and then you breathe out and you relax and you let it go. And I think that's kind of connected with this this strength that we're building up, that we are not, well, we can do it with our physical breath, but I'm meaning to do it with your thoughts. You just take your thoughts inside and then come back again. And it is actually quite amazing how long 60 seconds is. So everybody can take 1 minute, and you can take 1 minute every hour. And it is, if you timed it 60 seconds, you may even feel to yourself, wow, hurry up, I want to get on with something. You might feel that 60 seconds is actually a long time. So when we say we don't have time, that's because, well, this is what we are. We're scattered all over the place. So it's because we're not focused and we're not able to use time to our benefit. So I feel that it's very important to find that time, and the more you focus on that, finding that 1 minute. And we have a process called traffic control, which I'm sure some of you have heard about, and that just means to stop for 1 minute. I mean, I do it for 5 minutes every hour, because it's just so beneficial to and to do it. If you did it once an hour every day, say you did it 6 times, you could do it. I used to do it much more when I was at work, and fit it in much more. So that's 6 times a day. So you can see that that would have some effect on your building up your strength and then your resilience. Your resilience. Yeah, I'll stop there just in case you've got another question, because otherwise I'll go into something else.
No, that's fine, Linda. But my question is, if you stop for these 5 minutes, let's say every hour, or you start with 60 seconds and then you build up a few minutes, what do you do with your mind? Do you use a mantra, a kind of holy phrase, or a particular thought, or do you want your mind to be in complete silence? Because 5 minutes is quite long, and I understand that if you start practicing, you can build up those minutes every hour. But what exactly do you do with your mind? Do you want complete stillness? Is that possible, or do you use a certain positive thought that you focus on?
Yeah, I think if you're beginning, I think you do have to have a thought. And I used to use the mantra Om Shanti. I find that even just to say Om Shanti and to say it quite slowly, it's the vibration of the sound of those two words really are very, very helpful. That Shanti means peace, and and just to remind myself that I am a being of peace is extremely helpful. So I would start with Om Shanti, and because Om Shanti leads us to lots of other experiences. But myself, I like to now. I don't do that practice now, but now I just like to go into silence. But also, before I go into silence, I just reflect on where have I been the last 55 minutes? Where has my mind been? How far has my mind taken me in 55 minutes? Because it's quite amazing. You can travel the world probably millions of times around the world in 55 minutes in your mind. So it is good to reflect, where has it been? And because what we're doing, I think the inner strength we're building up is to be able to control that mind and to bring it to stillness as quickly as possible. And this does need inner strength to be able to do that. And I feel that has such a deep connection with resilience, with being resilient.
Now, I fully agree to that, definitely, Linda. But of course, we know that life, there will be setbacks, there will be problems. And I understand the more I practice meditation or any other spiritual practice, I will build up that resilience. But once I am in a situation where something happens, I might have a car accident, I might have medical problems, and I have to go to that phase or that period of maybe physical pain or whatever it is. How do you deal with these setbacks? Because I want to get back onto route, I want to go back to, but I'm still feeling like it's very overwhelming. Physical pain can be very overwhelming, mental, emotional problems. How do you deal with these setbacks?
I think, well, first of all, you need to practice when there aren't any setbacks. That is very important. It's not the time when you're in the midst of some kind of crisis to start to think that you're going to be able to meditate. But from my experience, that you do it when the turbulent times are very calm, and you put this into practice, and then when something actually happens, then it's quite amazing how quickly the mind latches on to that going into that practice. I'll just give an example. I was on the motorway in the UK once, and it was pouring with rain, and the car skidded, and it didn't turn all the way round, but the car turned sideways, and I was sideways on to the oncoming traffic. And I mean, that happened within seconds. And why I ended up like that, because a coach was coming up on the inside and I thought I would crash into it. And in that moment, I just went into absolute stillness. And it kind of felt, I mean, I was in my body. I wasn't, floating up above it and looking down on it. But I just got the right thought of what to do with the steering wheel, and I turned it, and that's how I ended up sideways across the motorway. So at that time, when it was the crisis, it gave me clarity to be able to do the right action. And then afterwards, of course, within sort of 5 minutes, then all the adrenaline was rushing, and then then my heart was beating, and but in that actual moment, it was extremely helpful. And then I managed to calm myself back again, because then I was much more in control. The car had stopped, the traffic had stopped, nobody got injured, and then all I needed to do was take a few moments to just come back into that quietness. And of course, the adrenaline was still pumping around my body, because that doesn't stop instantly. But I was much more in control of where my mind was, and I was able to start the car, and then I proceeded, and then all the traffic also started to move behind me. So I feel that we do it in times when there is calmness, when, like when we're at work, we don't have turbulent times or critical times every moment of the day. Well, not yet, but they come up suddenly. But if we practice this regularly, when things are calm, we can be sitting on a bus, we can be on a train, we can be, and we just take that moment to just step inside, say Om Shanti, it just brings an amazing feeling of being balanced and centered and focused, and back in some kind of control of thoughts. So I feel that we need to practice that when we are in a good space. And you don't physically go to the gym to do a workout when you've got flu. Your body is sick, so you let it rest. So I think when we're in a crisis situation, then we need another set of things. But it's not something we can start to practice when times are not so good. And I find many people say that they don't bother to do meditation until some crisis comes. And it's impossible. It's impossible to be able to gather your thoughts that quickly and be on top of things and have that clarity of mind. I think that's really very essential when we are facing turbulent times, is to have that inner clarity.
No, I think it's very important to practice like the traffic control. It's a system that we also use here in the office, One Point Consulting. So every hour we have actually 1 minute of silence and music through the loudspeakers. And most of the staff, they actually stop and they respect that silence, and you feel the impact that it has in the workplace. But my other question is that we have these setbacks, but also sometimes there's the feeling that there's something happened and you keep dwelling on that. You keep remembering that someone has hurt your feelings. These negative thoughts come, these wasteful thoughts. And we know in psychology, they say anyway, you can't suppress your emotions because that's not helpful. But what you do at those moments where you feel that that wasteful thought is overtaking your mind, or you can't deal with that negative thought, how does this practice of meditation help me in those moments to let go of the past and to change that negative feeling or emotion, negative thought, into something more positive? What would you say about that?
That is another very important point, because when you dwell in the past, it actually ends up creating such darkness inside, because the past we remember is all the mistakes, and we don't actually dwell in the past on happy moments. We just don't. It would be good if we did, but the way that the mind works is it likes to be dragged back into some kind of darkness. So another practice that I am very becoming quite skilled at actually is putting the full stop. I really like this practice because it's just, again, very practical and very logical. A full stop comes at the end of a sentence. It means the sentence is finished. It's not like a comma, which means that the sentence can continue, or a question mark, or an exclamation mark, or a semicolon. It says stop, and you can then start to create a new sentence, or you can have a new paragraph or a new chapter. And so I feel that this practice, and I when I started this practice, I used to just say full stop. Stop. And just keep saying full stop. And then my mind would sort of anchor in on that and be quite cooperative. And then you've got to then find another thought to replace it so that it's not going backwards. And so to find something that you can anchor on that's towards the future. So, I mean, it depends really on the situation that you're in, what kind of thought that is, but to project something going forward rather than allowing the mind, because when the mind goes backwards, it's because the mind is quite weak. It's not disciplined. So meditation actually helps that. Meditation helps us to discipline the mind, to concentrate the mind. Our concentration span now is very, very poor. We used to say when I first started to look at thoughts and the mind in the earlier days of my BK spiritual life, that 20 minutes was the concentration time. But I think it's minutes now, not even fives of minutes. I think it's very shallow and very short before the mind goes off somewhere else. So I feel that many people now are practicing all kinds of meditation to help them to be much more concentrated, because when we're concentrated, we're much more focused, and we're much more when we're focused towards the future. We're going forwards. When we don't have that sense of focus, we tend to go back to the same old. And so meditation is another tool to be able to keep us back on track, so that what we're doing is taking ourselves from the outside in, and this is something that we become aware of, that we're actually outside here, and I'm outside with all the things that are going on in my life, and I'm actually paying no attention to what's going on inside my head. So I think it's really important to take up some meditation practice. I mean, our meditation practice is quite unique, really, because our meditation practice is to promote change. And that's why I felt really inspired by this when I came across it years ago, that I wanted to change. I didn't want to keep going back into the same old patterns. And so if you feel a sort of like a pull towards it, then you will definitely make time and space to put that into practice. And collectively, as well as you said in your office, else, that, if majority people are practicing traffic control 1 minute, it actually helps everybody in that office. And it becomes quite a collective power that just raises a little bit more energy in life. And that's why we have no inner strength and no resilience, is because we've got very little energy now. So this whole turnaround, to be able to just stop for 1 minute, go inside, say Om Shanti, and then come back again. And if you did that for 30 seconds, I think sort of 5 or 6 times a day, you would really see the benefits of that. And then maybe you do it for a minute, and then you do it for 2 minutes. It's so helpful.
Yes, and I also like the idea that to promote change, I think that's also one of the benefits of regular meditation. We start changing patterns in ourselves, in our thoughts, habits, And I think that is so important. And it's often only at that point when people start seeing that change in themselves that they feel, yes, I want to continue with this practice. It is beneficial. It helps me a lot, etc. So really, really great. Linda, would you like to guide us into a short meditation?
Okay, certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so take a moment to take a deep breath inside and hold it for a second, and then breathe out. So as you breathe in, you can say Om Shanti. And as you breathe out, you can just release any tension or stress. Breathe in, Om Shanti. And breathe out any stress. So you can continue that practice even while you're thinking, because we breathe very naturally. We don't have to put any thoughts or attention to that. Our body knows how to breathe. So behind the breathing or contained within the breathing is the thought of Om Shanti. So take a step inside, behind your eyes, in the center of your brain. That's where everything really is going on. Inside you is a connection with your thinking, is a connection with your feelings, is a connection with your emotions. This is all coming from this place that's deep within. And so to just take that Om Shanti inside to that place and connect with peace. And that peace, that sense of peace, is kind of swirling around inside your head. It's not restricted by any space or time. And peace is coming from within, but the awareness is coming from without. Because as I'm withdrawing myself inside consciously, I'm awakening the peace that's already there. So this peace is actually where I want to be when I am in a stage of resilience. It's not a resilience that I'm gritting my teeth with any tension, but actually I am in a place of focus, of stillness, and of strength. And so this practice to go into this place is building up the spiritual muscle. And to hold it in that space really needs a strength, because we practice and we start practicing and we take a moment and then 2 moments and then 10 moments and then a minute and then 2 minutes and 5 minutes. And if we really want to practice meditation, 5 minutes is good throughout the day, but I do need to sit for a little longer. So I need to know where I'm going inside my own head to this place. And then when I build up a certain amount of stamina, when turbulent times do come into my life, which they will, at some point, something will come to shake you, to flip you upside down, then you can draw on this place because you know where you're going. You've practiced it. So to build up any inner strength needs practice. and practice and practice until it becomes a very natural and easy space to be in. And then ultimately, I feel that we could get to a stage where we really are able to flex and flow with whatever situations in life throw at us, because we're coming from a place of inner strength, and that's aiding my resilience, my ability to stay strong, to stay stable, to stay calm, to stay peaceful. So we start our journey with just two little words, Om Shanti. And maybe you just repeat this a few times. And if you say it to yourself, you will feel the vibrations of peace. So maybe we just end with everyone that's watching saying, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda, for sharing your thoughts and our conversation on this topic. And I feel really let's continue on this spiritual journey so we can really build that inner strength. Also, big thank you to the technical team who supports us at every session. And for those who have joined us today, I hope you have enjoyed the session, and we're looking forward to welcoming you again at the next 1.1 session. Bye-bye.